out here tonight. It's also a historical year for us in Putnam County as we celebrate 175 years as a county. I want to take a little bit of a journey back in time down memory lane as we look back over some of the things that happened in Putnam County over the last 175 years. Ironic, in 1842, Putnam County was officially established as a county government. The next 3 years we operated as a county. We issued marriage license and birth certificates, and we held court in Putnam County. But we had some neighbors beside of us, and Denny Wayne, mayor of White County, nothing against White County or Jackson County or Overton County, but they were upset because some of their land was taken to form Putnam County. And so they filed suit in Overton County in Chancery Court. It's kind of odd, Overton County suing, they're filing it in their own court. You can imagine how the judge ruled. He ruled in favor of Overton County and Jackson and White counties. And so all of a sudden, Putnam County disappeared as a county. So for the next 9 years, we basically did not exist. Our books that we record everything in were taken to Jackson County. Everything was issued from another county, and Putnam County was no longer. You can imagine how that upset the residents of Putnam County. So what do our residents, when they get upset, they took to the streets. And thankfully it was a peaceful march down Highway 70 because it was very crowded at the time. So, but they were looking for someone to change that. There was meetings going on all over the county by horse and buggy, and at this time the cars were coming about. And we found a hero in Senator Cook, Senator Richard Cook. He ran for office. He ran for state senate for one reason: to make Putnam County a county again. And it took him several years before he could get his colleagues to agree to that at the state legislature. But in 1854, Putnam County became a county again. For the past 163 years, though, there's been an unresolved thing with Putnam County as to, okay, when was our beginning? 1842 or 1854? Thankfully, our county commission was willing to take it upon themselves this past year. And they passed a resolution authorizing that our beginning date in Putnam County as a county was 1854. In my mind, it could be no other way. What could we do with those citizens for those 3 years that we were a county that were issued birth certificates and marriage license? They voted here. So we couldn't let those folks, their history go by and not be observed. So 1842 became our birthday. We're celebrating 175 years. And I want to take you briefly through some changes that have happened in Putnam County over the last 175 years. In 1856, Cookeville was incorporated and became our county seat. This old sign, I think, speaks for itself. We are the hospitality capital of our area, especially of our region, because tourism is one of our big things here in Putnam County, and a lot of folks come here and visit each year. In 1890, the first train arrived in Putnam County. In 1893, Monterey was incorporated as a city. This is the actual picture from back there from 1893, the first one that we could find, the folks gathering at the depot there in Monterey waiting for the train to come through. We had to rebuild our courthouse in 1900 after the first 3 were destroyed by fire. In 1901, Allgood was incorporated as a city. In 1910, Baxter Seminary School was started and was famous for many years. We're actually developing a park in Baxter now. We're going to name it Baxter Seminary Park in honor of the school. In 1911, the Dixie College was founded here in Cookeville. In 1915, Baxter was incorporated as a city. Also in 1915, the Cookeville Post Office and Federal Courthouse was opened. And as you drive by there today, you see not much has changed with that building. It's a very historic building with a lot of architecture. It's been around for a long time. 1923, we had our first hospital, which is named Howard Hospital. In 1934, our Cookeville Airport opened and existed for many years before we joined our partners with White County and Sparta and formed the regional airport. Most people will remember this one. In 1935, the Princess Theater opened for its first movie. In 1940, our first radio station, WHUB, went on the air, and it still exists today. In 1945, our first Chamber of Commerce was started. I know all of you remember this one. In 1952, the Putnam County Drive-In opened and operated for many years. In 1962, there was a major renovation at our courthouse. If you looked at our old courthouse, the architecture was unbelievable with the clock tower and everything on top. Somebody had the bright idea that we would change to a flat roof. I'm not sure that was a very good decision back then, but we're stuck with it today. In 1962, something major happened in Putnam County. It's called Interstate 40. The first section from Smith County to Putnam County opened, and then in 1966, the full interstate opened. It totally changed the future of Putnam County. And most folks don't know how close we came to not having the interstate in Putnam County, but it being over in White County. Sorry, Danny Wayne. 1965, TPI becomes Tennessee Tech University and is a huge part of Putnam County and Cookeville's economic development, tourism. They have the largest freshman class there this year in the history of Tennessee Tech. We're so proud to have them in our county. In 1969, we had our first daily newspaper. Before that, we had two newspapers, the Putnam Herald and the Cookeville Citizen, that published twice weekly. And another major thing that happened to Cookeville and Putnam counties, we started getting our water from Center Hill Lake in 1972 instead of from City Lake, which we look today with all the economic development we saw in the last several years would not have been possible if that had not happened. We've had a lot of iconic businesses in our community over the past years, and I think a lot of those are etched in our memory. The old Terry Brothers store that used to be on the square, Odie's Drive-In, I'm sure most of us remember eating there. Holiday Inn was a big place, and it was one of the first big hotels that we had in Putnam County. Able Gardens, the Varsity Theater, I think was where I probably saw my first movie as a Tennessee Tech student here in Cookeville. The Cooper Martin and Super D stores out on Washington Avenue that are no longer there. Big K. Do you remember Big K coming to Cookeville? What a big deal that was. Got pictures of, there were so many cars that city police trying to control traffic around Big K and Kroger's. Randolph and Parks, the Kroger Center that was beside Big K before it moved down to Jefferson, and the Dipsy Doodle. That's an iconic business that we have. That's from back in the 1940s, I think. They're still in business today and have great food. And some things just never change. Spring Street Market, one of our oldest grocery stores that is still in business today. I came across this picture today, and I thought it was very fitting for tonight. Mr. Noble Cody, who is the gentleman on the left, I think most of us would agree, is and was the heart of the Republican Party. And I think most of us would not be here tonight had it not been for him. I was talking to Dave Rowland before we got started, how proud Mr. Noble Cody would be if he could see this room here tonight. He had some great leadership, and he had that never give up attitude. As much as things have changed over the past 175 years in Putnam County, one thing has remained constant, and I think it speaks to our success as a county, our trust in God. My prayer is that will never change, and those words above our courthouse, and God we trust, will always be there. May God bless you in this great county we live in. Happy birthday, Putnam County. Thank you.